away with a 30-23 win at CenturyLink, playing well as they had the last several weeks to go 5-1. Seahawks suddenly find themselves, Clare, at 3-2, unfamiliar territory. But those are the facts. Now we got to move forward.
You lose at home anytime the Seahawks hit. It's a big deal. And I figured I'd start this off by showing you the check, because it's the only time you're going to see it during this segment. But anyway, the keys to the game, and there is a meeting later today to discuss whether we should change this to things not to look for, the things I'm telling you about. But the first key was hamper history. And it, of course, involved DeMarco Murray and not allowing him to join Jim Brown from 1958 as the only backs in NFL history to run for 100 or more yards in each of their team's first 6 games. And for 3 quarters, it went okay. He had 6 carries for 17 yards in the first quarter, 8 for 29 in the second quarter, 6 for 17 again in the third quarter, and then he went 9 for 52 in the fourth quarter, including a 25-yarder, which then set up his 29-yard touchdown, which put him over the top on the chasing Jim Brown, and also put the Dallas Cowboys up for good in the game. So no check there. Number 2, in Russell they trust. This was the player who was coming off the NFC Offensive Player of the Week performance in the Monday night game against the Washington Redskins. Not so much on Sunday against the Dallas Cowboys. He completed 50% of his passes, which was his lowest since completing 40.7% in the loss to the Cardinals at CenturyLink Field last December. Those are the 2 games that the Seahawks have lost at home in the last 2+ seasons. His 47.6 passer rating was the lowest he's had since Week 7 in 2012, his rookie season, against the 49ers down in San Francisco when he was 38-7. So, and then to top it all off, he got out-rustled by Tony Romo, and I'm talking about that whirl, spin, throw to the sideline. The guy makes the catch, gets both feet in. I mean, didn't we see Jermaine Kearse and Doug Baldwin do that multiple times last year as the Seahawks were pulling out victories just like the Cowboys did? Then we move on to turnovers, and I said before I'm not going to include this anymore, and maybe I should stick to my word and not do it. They did win the turnover battle 2-1, but they are now 28-5 under Pete Carroll when they win the turnover battle, because they obviously didn't win the game. They had the one fumble that set up Russell Wilson's touchdown, which was good, but then they had another one, and all they got out of it was a field goal. And then the one that's still gnawing at me is the one that got away. Byron Maxwell almost made an interception at the goal line, which I'm sure would have been a 99 or 100-yard touchdown return. Instead, he couldn't hang on to the ball. On the next play, Romo throws to Gavin Escobar for their first touchdowns. So there was a 14-point swing in a game that turned out to be a 7-point game.
Yeah. Yep.
So no checks, but undaunted, we move on to the Rams.
That's exactly what happens. And of course, the big play, the 3rd and 20 late in the game, Terrence Williams makes the great catch. But big plays, 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, are what every game comes down to. And regroup. Time to go to St. Louis on Friday, and then Carolina the following week. All right, there's Clare Farnsworth, Tony Ventrella on Seahawks.com.